looking at. So as I say, we've taken the first step, and we have a long, long way to go, and I'm absolutely confident that we're up to the challenge, and inshallah, we will meet that challenge. To the World Bank official who's supporting us or funding us, your support, your encouragement will not go in vain, and inshallah, we will achieve a higher ranking. So to conclude, we're celebrating today, but tomorrow morning we have to roll up our sleeves, and tomorrow is another day. Thank you.
मुशीर तिजारत अब्दुल रज़ाक दाऊद तकरीब से खिताब कर रहे हैं। तिजारती इस्लाहात किस तरह से कारोबार में आसानियां पैदा की जा सकती हैं, इस हवाले से नुमाइश है। नुमाइश का अहतमाम किया गया है सरमायाकारी बोर्ड की तरफ से। उससे खिताब कर रहे थे मुशीर तिजारत अब्दुल रज़ाक दाऊद। इसमें पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ का मंशूर, पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ का अज़्म, इमरान खान वज़ीर आज़म का अज़्म जो है वो यही है कि इस मुल्क में जितना ज़्यादा कारोबार जो है वो फ़रोग़ पा सकता है, इतना ज़्यादा हुकूमत उसमें फैसिलिटेट कर सकती है कारोबारी बिरादरी को, उतना ही बेहतर से बेहतर अंदाज में ये तमाम के तमाम मसाइल जो हैं इस मुल्क के, इस मईशत के, वो हल होते जाएंगे। पाकिस्तान तहरीक इंसाफ की हुकूमत शुरू दिन से सिर्फ़ और सिर्फ एक एजेंडा लेकर चल रही है कि मईशत को एडहॉक बुनियादों पर नहीं चलाना है, जैसे कि पिछले अदवार हुकूमतों में होता रहा है, लेकिन अब मजबूत बुनियादों पर किया जाएगा। इस वक्त इसी तकरीब से, तिजारती इस्लाहात की नुमाइश की तकरीब से वर्ल्ड बैंक के प्रेसिडेंट जो है वो खिताब कर रहे हैं, वो आपको दिखाते हैं।
Thank you. I'm gonna come down. Thank you very much. Prime Minister Khan, Chief Minister, ministers, and distinguished guests, it's a pleasure to be here in Pakistan and join those of you who have championed the ease of doing business and done so much work. Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, everyone. The reforms you've undertaken will create better jobs and higher incomes, attract more investments, and generate more tax revenues. I also want to encourage more reforms to spur growth and raise living standards. There are more reforms under the ease of doing business, reforms needed to protect women's welfare and include them in the economy, reforms needed to strengthen the energy and education sectors, and reforms needed to simplify taxation. We see youth and women around the world demanding jobs and economic opportunities. Broad-based growth is necessary to address their calls for better living standards. Last week, we launched our annual Doing Business report, which provides a snapshot of the rules and regulations that affect businesses in every country. Pakistan emerged as one of the top 10 reformers this year. These will add to growth and jobs over time. According to the Doing Business report, Pakistan carried out the most reforms in the South Asia region. Your country jumped to 108th place in the rankings from 136th last year. Your reforms made it easier for entrepreneurs to start business, get electricity and construction permits, register property, pay taxes, and trade across borders. Many of these advances leverage digital technologies to make the process more transparent and streamlined. I congratulate you all, Prime Minister, Chief Minister, your teams, for this achievement. Ownership of reforms at the highest level makes a big difference. The federal government and 2 provincial governments showed great cooperation in working together to improve the ease of doing business. We've seen their comments today, and they were very interesting. Pakistan's federation is key in implementing long-lasting reforms. It will be important to harness this collaborative spirit between the federal and provincial governments as you turn to broader structural reforms, which are critically needed today. The improvements in the ease of doing business will give a boost to the overall investment climate for the private sector, especially for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. We are already seeing positive investor interest in a number of sectors, including energy and access to finance. While the gains this year are significant, Pakistan has opportunities for further improvements in the ease of doing business. For example, in the area of enforcing contracts, where it ranks low at 156th, it takes 1,025 days to resolve a commercial dispute in Lahore, and 1,096 days in Karachi. Those are averages. This is almost twice the 573-day average among high-income OECD economies. Pakistan can still work on improving the quality of judicial processes, an area where it performs below the South Asia regional average. It's important to note that doing business isn't intended to be an investment guide. Potential investors consider many other factors, such as the overall quality of an economy's business environment and its national competitiveness, its macroeconomic stability, the development of the financial system, and other factors like market size and rule of law. Certainty of the regulatory environment is very important for business confidence as well. I would like to offer a few thoughts about reforms that would help spur more growth and development. Earlier today, I had a very constructive conversation with Federal Education Minister Shafiq Mahmood, several provincial education ministers, and Federal Minister of Planning Maktoum Bakhtiar. A concerted effort is needed to decrease the number of out-of-school children and increase school completion. Education standards need to evolve to guarantee a minimum level of learning in the country and to focus on learning and acquiring skills rather than simply getting a credential. Skills training is critical to match skills to available jobs. Provincial and federal governments need to work together to reduce learning poverty. We at the World Bank stand ready to help on this. I also met today with a group of women parliamentarians working hard to drive real change and push the women's agenda. Fully including women in the economy is essential to broad-based growth. Today, only 1 in 4 Pakistani women is part of the workforce. Pakistani women face many constraints to work. These include transportation, physical safety, restrictions on working hours, and social norms. Girls are marrying too young to complete their education. When they make it to work, they face hurdles in rising through the ranks. Women occupy less than 7% of managerial positions. Addressing some of these gaps would give a major boost to the economy. Pakistan has already made progress, substantial progress. An upcoming World Bank report on women, business, and the law will report on this progress. In the energy sector, creating a stable, predictable environment is needed so that investors and project developers can harness Pakistan's natural resources and invest in low-cost energy projects which are critical to reduce the cost of electricity generation. This will not only, over time, reduce the burden on circular debt, but will also translate in the long run into lower electricity prices, which will benefit industries and households. I was pleased to go to Tarbela this morning, with Minister Faisal Wadi and General Musamel, chairman of WAPTA. We looked at that, we observed, I was able to observe firsthand the huge energy production potential, including the floating solar that's being built, and the result in terms of clean, abundant energy for Pakistan. The World Bank has been very pleased to be part of that project for decades now, and we're pushing forward with Tarbela 4 and 5. Tax reforms are also key. Today, Pakistan operates like 5 separate markets rather than one national market. Minister Ahmad Azhar described to me the unified portal that Pakistan is building that will help with this process. Businesses have been having to file around 60 tax returns, and that creates a big barrier to private investment in the country, and also creates a revenue shortfall. So we encourage the harmonization of sales taxes across the Federation. That would be a win-win, allowing lower rates and faster growth. For the private sector, it would mean lower compliance costs, and it's especially important for small businesses that simply do not have the manpower to file this many tax returns. And for the government, I think it would mean more revenue. So it's critical that federal and provincial governments map, harmonize, eliminate, and automate tax filing procedures, and I urge you to go even further and make the process fully digital. It's also important to liberalize trade and investment by creating a simple, transparent tariff structure with reduced tariffs. Government revenue objectives and incentives for exports need to be well balanced. It's also important to extend the automated border management system to all regulatory agencies. Increased transparency and accountability are fundamental to any reform effort. Transparency about the reforms, the terms of debt, the collateral, the liens of large public infrastructure contracts is also important. Another area for improved transparency is the timely disclosure of the government's budget documentation and audited state-owned enterprise accounts. Why are these important? It's important to do this to give the public and investors a true picture of the government's debt burden and the economic and financial potential. This, in turn, attracts more investments and private sector capital. Information technology should be leveraged to improve transparency, for example, through e-procurement that can enhance competition and save money. In conclusion, Mr. Prime Minister, Chief Minister, I'd like to thank you all again for your hospitality, for your very gracious hospitality. We're in this room today thanks to your efforts and the efforts of many committed reformers who want to see Pakistan succeed. At the World Bank Group, we'll work hard on this. We want to see Pakistan succeed. It will require hard decisions from you and fellow reformers in the government, and the persistence to execute them. Many of these decisions will meet resistance from vested interests and from leadership will be required to stay the course. However, the doing business exercise over the last 2 years has demonstrated that Pakistan has the ability to make difficult but necessary reforms. I encourage you to build on that momentum to put in place structural reforms that will take the country to the next level. I'm confident Pakistan will rise to the challenge, and I encourage all those efforts the World Bank stands ready to support. Thank you very much.